Good morning everyone. How are you children? I hope you all enjoyed my last session. I have sent you a PPT on hydrated salts. I hope everyone enjoyed the PPT about the water of crystallization and efflorescence. Now, whenever I come with chemical reactions and equations, definitely. So, I know that some children are very much scared of chemical reactions. Today, I'm going to explain you different types of reactions and how to remember very easily the mode of chemical reaction. There are majorly different types, 5 different types of chemical reactions. To make it very comfortable, I'll help you in a flowchart method. Right? So whenever there is a chemical reaction, definitely we are supposed to write that chemical reaction in an equation way. But here, once again, I'm telling you, there are different types of chemical reactions. Sometimes, some small chemicals combine together to form a big compound. We call such reactions as combination reactions. Just like how A plus B is equal to AB. In the same way, sometimes, some small atoms or molecules combine together to form a big compound. Such reactions are called chemical combination. Now, the second category, we go just opposite to combination. That is, a big compound splits into simpler compounds. See that we call it as an decomposition reaction, just opposite to combination reaction. Then, the third one is the chemical displacement. The chemical displacement reaction is a reaction in which you see that one highly reactive element, or it may be a metal or a non-metal, comes in contact with a least reactive element or a non-metal and it displaces that one. That means one element, one atom displaces another atom. Such type of reactions are called chemical displacement reactions. And then the fourth category we come across with double displacement. Twice the cations and anions in the salts are displaced. So there, that results in double decomposition reaction. And the fifth category is a redox reaction, which is completely new to your 10th standard children. So but today I am going to explain you that also in a very easy way. Redox. There are 2 important phenomena called reduction as well as oxidation. This reduction and oxidation takes place simultaneously and such reactions are called as a redox reaction. So here, come again. So here we have 5 different types of chemical reactions. Chemical combination, chemical decomposition, like you have displacement, chemical displacement, double decomposition and redox reaction. And definitely you children have to remember for every mode of reaction you have to remember 2 to 3 examples. So I'll make it easy for you now. So once again, every time I follow a very easy method to remember all the concept of the lesson through flowchart. So here the first one. Here I say there are different types of chemical reactions. Chemical reactions. So these chemical reactions to your age level, let us learn today, categorize these type of chemical reactions into 5 types. The first type is chemical combination. This is very easy. Combination in the sense the mode is A plus B gives rise to AB. You can understand that A and B are simple substances. They may be atoms, they may be molecules or anything. Like these 2 simpler atoms or molecules combine together to form a macromolecule or a compound. So this is combination reaction. The second one is, I say, decomposition. This decomposition is just opposite to the upper one. That is, this AB, this bigger molecule splits into A plus B. Again, there are 3 modes again. What are the 3 modes? This decomposition can be done with the help of heat energy, with the help of electric current, or with the help of sunlight even. If the process is done in the presence of electric current, we call it as electrolysis. That is called electrolysis, electrolytic decomposition. And if it is done in the presence of certain heat energy, then we call it as thermolysis. or you also call it as thermolytic decomposition. And if it is done in the presence of sunlight, this is H nu. H nu is nothing but the energy of photon. Photons or the light particles that are present in the sunlight or any type of light. So this is the way how we'll be representing the energy of sunlight. Then we call this as photolysis. Photolysis or photolytic decomposition. So this decomposition where a bigger molecule can split into simpler molecules can be done in 3 different methods like electrolysis, thermolysis and photolysis. Now we move on to the third one, that is displacement. So here a simple thing I want everyone to remember, a highly reactive element always displaces less reactive element. This is the race that is happening here. Now I'm taking A plus BC. You can see there are 2 elements. Here A is one element and B is another element. But here in this case, A is highly reactive than B. Then what is it doing? It is displacing the B. The place of B is taken by A, such that there are new compounds that are formed as A, C and B. B is sent out because A is highly reactive. I say this is highly reactive and this is B is less reactive. So such type of reactions are called as chemical displacement reactions. Now we move on to the next one, that is fourth one is double displacement. What is this double displacement? So here you know that in the last class I was telling you about salts. A salt is having 2 types of ions, a cation as well as an anion. Cation is a positively charged species, anion is a negatively charged species. Usually in inorganic salts, cation is always written first and anion later. Now here I am taking 2 different salts like AB as well as CD. See here I took 2 different salts AB, CD, and you know that A is the cation here in this case and C is the cation in the second salt. Now what is happening? Exchange of these ions takes place. That is, A comes in contact with D and C comes in contact with B. This is what is happening in double displacement reaction. So A comes in contact with D such that what is formed? A new salt is formed, namely AD. And as I told you, always you have to write cation in the front, anion later. So CB is the next salt that is formed. So here you can see twice the exchange of cations takes place. Such type of reactions are called double displacement reactions. And sometimes double displacement reactions are also called as precipitation reactions due to the resultant of an undissolved precipitate of the substance that is left in the as a which is insoluble in the reagent. That is called precipitate. So sometimes precipitation reactions are obtained by double displacement. Now the last category, 5th category of reactions that you are learning here is a new type. They are redox reaction. 2 important phenomenon called reduction as well as oxidation takes place. So here I call them as redox. Redox, they involve 2 steps. First one is reduction. You can understand RED in the sense reduction, OX in the sense oxidation. So these are the different 5 types of chemical reactions which you are going to learn. So I want everyone to note down this flow chart and these different types of modes of chemical reaction. Then I'm going to explain you each and every mode of reaction with examples. So combination, decomposition, displacement, double displacement. So what are the examples? Here I am going to give you simple examples. For the very first type of reaction, combination reaction, here you know that carbon, when we burnt a paper is made up of carbon. Carbon undergoes oxidation, or let me say carbon plus or reacts with oxygen to form carbon dioxide. So what is the symbol of carbon? C. What is the symbol of oxygen? O2. C plus O2 gives rise to CO2. So this is one of the important or simple example of combination. Two different molecules combine together to form a macromolecule. That is what we call it as combination reaction. In the same way, we have magnesium ribbon. So when we burn that magnesium ribbon burns in the presence of air with a dazzling white light, and a white color solid is obtained. That white color solid or residue is nothing but magnesium oxide. So these are the two important or very easy examples to understand the combination reaction. So how do we write? So no need to write the whole thing, carbon plus oxygen. Simply we can write any type of reaction in a form of a shorthand representation, namely chemical equation. So here I am writing, I am giving you two examples. Combination. I said carbon, when it is burnt, like it reacts with oxygen to form carbon dioxide. Carbon plus oxygen gives rise to carbon dioxide, CO2. But remember, you have to check whether the reaction is balanced or not. So here one carbon and two oxygen atoms on both the sides, on the reactant side as well as the product side. So this is done. The second example I am giving, magnesium. Magnesium reacts with oxygen. So remember, whenever you are writing a chemical reaction, you have to mention all the states of matter also. So here carbon I am taking as solid, here this is gas, and here this is also gas. Carbon plus oxygen gives rise to carbon dioxide, and magnesium, again solid, reacts with oxygen to form magnesium oxide. That is, magnesium is having a valency as +2. The valency of magnesium is +2 and valency of oxygen is -2. So here the compound that is formed is magnesium oxide, MgO. So in this way you have to write. But in this reaction you can see on the left hand side two oxygen atoms are there. On the right hand side, on the product side, there is only one oxygen. So we need to balance. So here I am arranging just two here. But unfortunately, magnesiums are also increased. So I have to arrange again 2 moles. I have to increase the magnesium to 2 moles. And here, this is again gas, and this magnesium oxide is again solid, and the color is white. In this way, you have to write down the whole information that is happening, that you observe during the chemical reaction. So simple two examples for the chemical combination. Carbon plus oxygen gives rise to carbon dioxide. Magnesium plus oxygen gives rise to magnesium oxide. So here in both the cases, two simple molecules combine together to form a macromolecule, right? So here, the second type of reaction we focus on the chemical decomposition reaction. The chemical decomposition reaction is again categorized into 3 types. They are electrolysis, thermolysis and photolysis. Electrolysis is done with the help of electric current. So as a big molecule splits into simpler molecules. The best example is splitting of water molecule. You know the formula of water. Water molecule formula is H2O. So here I am writing water is H2O. This water molecule is taken in a voltameter and it is conducted in the presence of any acid or an alkali or any salt which acts as a catalyst, and this water molecule decomposes or splits into 2 different gases. What are the gases here? So I am writing here EC. EC in the sense electric current. It decomposes to hydrogen gas as well as oxygen gas. But here you will observe, see I have represented hydrogen gas as H2 and oxygen gas as O2. But here in this case, there is only one oxygen atom on the reactant side but 2 oxygen atoms on the product side. So we need to balance. How do we balance? Let us focus on hydrogens. They are balanced. But what about oxygens? There are 2 oxygen atoms on the product side. So I have to arrange 2 here. When I increase the water molecules to 2, then 2 2s are 4. Hydrogens are increased by 2. More 2 atoms of hydrogens are there. So that in order to balance, I'll be putting 2 moles. In this way, you need to balance the chemical reaction. So once again, this water is in liquid state, hydrogen obtained is in a gaseous state, oxygen is also in gaseous state. So they are again collected at different electrodes. Okay, so this particular decomposition reaction of water molecule is done with the help of electric current in the presence of an acid or alkali or salt. These act as a catalyst to decompose that water molecule into hydrogen gas and oxygen gas. Now we move on to thermolysis. Thermolysis, the term itself is telling you about the heat energy. Yes. See here, there are many examples, like there are 3 important examples which you will be performing experiments in the laboratory. That is decomposition of calcium carbonate, decomposition of ferrous sulfate and decomposition of lead nitrate. Today I am going to explain you only one example, that is lead nitrate. Lead nitrate, what is the formula of lead nitrate again? PbNO3 twice. So I am taking an example, lead nitrate, PbNO3 twice. This is the formula of lead nitrate. This lead nitrate, what you have to do, we have to take a small amount of lead nitrate in a dry test tube and we have to strongly heat it. Then you will be observing certain observations even. That is, initially you'll get some crackling sound. Later you'll be observing certain water molecules coming out. Later you'll see some brown gas that is coming out, and that brown gas is the identification of nitrogen dioxide. So what is happening? Once again I'll tell you, it's not at all complicated. Lead nitrate decomposes in the presence of heat energy. The delta mark is nothing but heat energy. It decomposes to lead monoxide, PbO, plus nitrogen dioxide plus oxygen gas. So this is an unbalanced reaction. You can see a big molecule is split into simpler molecules. We call this as decomposition reaction. So this lead nitrate is again solid. It is colorless. Lead monoxide is again solid. It is yellow in color. So remember children, the color of lead monoxide, after strongly heating, after the nitrogen dioxide that comes out, after oxygen liberation, you are left with an yellow color residue, that is lead monoxide. Then nitrogen dioxide, it is gas. This is brown in color. This is very, very important. The color of nitrogen dioxide is brown color. Of course, oxygen is also obtained. This oxygen gas is a colorless gas. We only observe or we only identify this oxygen gas by, like, you have to bring a matchstick which can be rekindled again. That is, it burns more brighter. So here also I am writing just an apparent. But you will be observing, you are observing, I think, that here in this reaction, the reaction is not balanced. You can see unbalanced chemical equation. We need to balance. We should not leave any reaction unbalanced. So here, nitrogen. When a molecule is written like that, this 2, you have to twice all the atoms that are present inside the bracket. So 3 2s where 6 oxygens are present and 2 nitrogens are present. So in order to balance that, you have to start with oxygen. Today I am writing the balanced equation. Already I have explained you how to balance the whole chemical reaction. Just I am increasing the moles of lead nitrate such that you can see already 2 nitrogens are there, 2 2s, 4 nitrogens are there on the left hand side. So I am arranging 4 here such that you can observe 4 2s, 4 nitrogen, 4 nitrogen. Here 3 2s are 6 and 6 2s, how much dear? 12 oxygens are present. And how to balance those 12 oxygens? Already here 4 2s, 8 are there, and here 2 more are there. So keeping in view the number of atoms of lead, I am increasing the moles of lead monoxide as 2. Now you can count 2 plus 8, 10, 10 plus 2, 12 oxygens on right hand side. And here also 3 2s are 6, 6 2s are 12, 12 oxygens. Then coming to lead, 2 lead as well as 2 lead. In this way, you should not leave any reaction unbalanced, and you need to balance every chemical reaction. Okay, so come back to our lesson, that is here thermolysis. Thermolysis is nothing but it is a thermolytic decomposition where a big molecule is split into simpler molecules with the with the effect of heat energy. Right? Next we move on to photolysis. The third method, that is photolysis. What is photolysis? See, in black and white photography, we'll be coming with certain compound, namely silver bromide. So this silver bromide is undergoing certain decomposition in the presence of light. What is happening? Just like silver bromide, you can also take silver chloride. Okay, so silver bromide or silver chloride. Now I am taking silver bromide as I told initially. Silver is Ag, bromine is Br. Silver bromide formula is AgBr. You know, Ag plus 1 and Br minus 1. So this AgBr is silver bromide which undergoes photolytic decomposition, that is in the presence of certain light energy, certain photon energy. Now it decomposes to silver as well as bromine. Here bromine is gas and silver is solid, and here silver bromide is like liquid, it's an aqueous solution. Right, here you can see again unbalanced, and I'm writing here because there are 2 bromine atoms. I arrange 2 here and 2 here. Right? So this is silver gray in color. After obtaining, you'll be getting the solid silver gray silver. Right? So this is the example of photolysis. Once again I recall, decomposition reaction is categorized into 3 types. Electrolysis in the presence of electric current, thermolysis in the presence of heat energy, and photolysis in the presence of photon energy. In this way, you have to remember all the examples and you have to balance every chemical reaction. Now, displacement. The third type of chemical reaction is displacement. Here, as I told you, highly reactive element always displaces less reactive element. The best example here I'll be discussing is copper sulfate and putting an iron nail in a copper sulfate solution. So in 7th standard you have learnt, when you drop an iron nail in copper sulfate solution, what happens? After some time you can see a reddish brown color deposit on the nail, and slowly the blue colored copper sulfate solution fades and turns to pale green color. So what are all these? That can be understood in the form of a reaction. See, I am taking iron nail. Iron nail in the sense I am taking solid. That is, the symbol of iron is Fe. Fe reacts with copper sulfate, CuSO4. This is in the form of aqueous. We will be taking certain aqueous solution like copper sulfate salt is added in water. It is soluble in water. You are obtained with aqueous copper sulfate solution. Then what is happening? As I told you, iron is more reactive than copper. Iron is a highly reactive element when compared to copper. Now this iron is displacing copper. It pushes the copper out. And what is formed? FeSO4, ferrous sulfate or iron sulfate is formed. And what is happening to the copper? Copper is coming out in the form of solid. And this is aqueous. This is the reaction. Remember, the color of copper sulfate is blue in color. So this is the condition, of course. Copper sulfate is blue in color. Ferrous sulfate is pale green in color. This is a simple and easy example to remember displacement reaction. Highly reactive element displaces less reactive element. Okay, then we move on to the last one, that is double displacement. As I told you, twice exchange of cations and ions takes place. Okay, So we'll be taking again an example like here barium chloride BaCl2. I'm taking two aqueous salt solution. One is barium chloride, another one is sodium sulfate. Okay, barium chloride is BaCl2 and the formula of sodium sulfate is Na2SO4. Remember, barium is +2, Cl is -1. So the formula of barium chloride is BaCl2. And coming to sodium sulfate, sodium is +1, sulfate is -2. So in this way you have to remember, only when you remember the valency, it is very easy to remember the formula of the compound. So barium chloride aqueous solution, sodium sulfate aqueous solution. Both are colorless solutions. They don't have any color. Now when these two aqueous solutions are combined with each other, a double displacement takes place. As I told you before, this barium comes in contact with sulfate. So what is formed here? Barium sulfate, BaSO4 is formed. You can check the valencies even. Barium +2, sulfate -2. And water left, this sodium comes in contact with chlorine, NaCl. Check the valencies again. But don't forget to balance the reaction. So here in this case there are two sodiums, but here only one sodium. And here there are two chlorine atoms, here one chlorine atom. So in order to balance, I'll just increase the moles of sodium chloride. Now it is balanced. But this double displacement reaction is also called as a precipitation reaction because barium sulfate is obtained in the form of white precipitate. See, in the before case, I put an up arrow mark for a gaseous substance or a gas that is released. Now I put a down arrow mark to represent a precipitate. What is a precipitate? A precipitate is a substance which is left undissolved in the reagent. It is left like that. It is insoluble substance. Okay. So barium sulfate is obtained in the form of white precipitate. So this is the example of double displacement. You can see barium comes in contact with sulfate, sodium comes in contact with chlorine. So this is how you have to categorize the reactions. You have to practice examples for these reactions. This is not rocket science, children. Just simply you have to create certain interest and you have to practice these reactions such that definitely you'll score good marks. Okay. I hope everyone enjoy. So I want everyone to practice more and more reactions. You can have some more reactions like from the textbook or from any other book and you balance them. Okay, I hope. Okay children, I hope everyone enjoyed today's session and coming session I'll be with more different types of concepts in chemistry in an easy method. Bye.